Emergency starred Randolph Mantooth and Kevin Teague as two rescuers who work as both paramedics and firefighters in LA. They work together with the Rampart General Hospital medical staff and with the firefighter engine company at Station 51. The show first aired on NBC as a mid-season replacement on January 15, 1972, and it ran until 1977 for a total of 122 episodes. There were also 6 additional 2-hour TV movies made following the show's ending, which aired over 1978 and 1979. But what happened to the cast members after the show ended? Randolph Mantooth definitely fit the bill when he became a bankable name after starring in Emergency. He played the strong but sensitive John Gage on the show, and after it ended, he worked on other TV movie projects, including Testimony of Two Men and The Seekers. He also tried his hand at comedies, earning parts on the short-lived Operation Petticoat and Detective School, as well as plenty of guest-starring roles on other shows. After a bit of a career lull in the early 1980s, he found new success with daytime soap operas, which included Loving, The City, General Hospital, One Life to Live, and As the World Turns. He has also frequently returned to his theater roots in such productions as Footprints in Blood, Back to Blankets, and Rain Dance. His movie credits include the action thriller Agent Red, Price to Pay, He Was a Quiet Man, Bold Native, and his last to date, the horror movie Killer Holiday in 2013. He is now 78 years old and still uses his emergency experience to advocate for fire and EMS associations by being a spokesperson and speaking regularly at conferences across the country. Kevin Teague played Roy DeSoto, John Gage's partner on the show. After Emergency was canceled, he continued to work in television, appearing on The Hardy Boys' Nancy Drew Mysteries, The $6 Million Man, and The Love Boat. He also made his Broadway debut in the play Open Admissions, but the show closed after 2 weeks. In the late 1980s, Teague had movie roles in Matewan, 8 Men Out, K-9, and most notably as the Double Deuce club owner in 1989's Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze. During the 1990s, Teague appeared in Murder, She Wrote, Tales from the Crypt, Chicago Hope, ER, and the reboot of The Outer Limits. In the 2000s, he played Anthony Cooper on the ABC hit Lost. Now at the age of 79, he and Mantooth are producing a documentary together called Into the Unknown: The Paramedic's Journey, which was clearly inspired by their time on Emergency. Julie London played Dixie McCall, in which she acted with her husband Bobby Troup. Emergency was also produced by her ex-husband Jack Webb. In 1977, after a 6-year run, the show was canceled despite pretty good ratings. She was the only actress to appear in every single episode of the series. Following her time on Emergency, London retired from acting, choosing to spend more time with her family. She did, however, record the song My Funny Valentine for the soundtrack of the Burt Reynolds film Sharky's Machine in 1981. London was a heavy smoker throughout her life, and in 1999 she was diagnosed with lung cancer. On October 18, 2000, she died from cardiac arrest at the age of 74. Bobby Troup found success in his role as Dr. Joe Early, a neurosurgeon working at the hospital in Emergency. When the show ended, he played the part of Sam Gill in the TV miniseries The Rebels. In the 1980s, he appeared in the stalker-themed television film The 25th Man, which was intended as a pilot for a television series. His last television appearance was a guest role in a 1985 episode of the detective series Simon and Simon. After that, he settled into retirement. In February of 1999, Troup died following a heart attack at the age of 80 years old. Robert Fuller is known for his starring role as Dr. Kelly Brackett, Chief of Emergency Medicine at Rampart General Hospital. After the show ended, he starred in the pilot of the CBS Western Jake's Way, but the series failed to be picked up, and Fuller moved on to supporting roles in more than 20 television shows, including The Love Boat, The Fall Guy, Murder, She Wrote, Jag, and Diagnosis Murder. His film appearances consisted of a small role as a doctor in the comedy film Repossessed, and a cameo as a poker player in Maverick. His last performance was playing 2 roles in the final episode of Walker, Texas Ranger. He retired after that show, and it is fitting that his final part was in a Western. Despite being retired, he continues to attend a number of Western festivals each year. At the age of 90, Fuller still enjoys spending time with fans in celebration of his 60-year career. Marco Lopez starred as a firefighter in Emergency. Lopez used his real name as his character's name too, leading to people thinking he was a real firefighter. After Emergency went off the air, he took on bit parts in other TV shows like MacGyver, Mission Impossible, The New Adam 12, and Murder, She Wrote. He then appeared in the TV movie The Elian Gonzalez Story in 2000, and then followed that up with 2 uncredited roles in Julia Roberts movies, America's Sweethearts and The Mexican. He then started teaching acting in Las Vegas and doing some commercials. Marco Lopez is now 88 years old. Mike Stoker played a fireman who also used his real name. He was actually a Los Angeles County Fire Department firefighter, selected for the show because one was needed to drive and operate the very expensive fire engine. He stayed with the Los Angeles County Fire Department up until 1996, when he retired as a captain from Station 106 in Rolling Hills Estates, California. He is now 82 years old. Tim Donnelly played the role of fireman Chet Kelly in Emergency. After the series ended in 1977, he showed up in some horror movies, including the 1978 film The Toolbox Murders, which was directed by his brother Dennis Donnelly, and The Clonus Horror from 1979. He retired from acting in 1984, last appearing in an episode of The A-Team. At the age of 77, Donnelly died from complications following a surgery on September 17, 2021. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, and maybe even consider supporting the channel over on Patreon. If you enjoyed this video, consider watching this playlist. While you're at it, hit subscribe and share Recollection Road Entertainment with someone you know. As always, thank you so much for watching.